The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today I'm honoured and I'm happy and I'm over the moon. I've got a pool player, professional pool player in the house. It took me a while to work out what his profession was. We got there eventually. Well, I think he helped me too.
Well,
But thank you, Thorsten.
hello Simon, and thank you for being my driver today.
It's okay. So tell us, why pool? How did you get into it? What motivates you?
Well, growing up in Germany, I was exposed to soccer, so that's what I was doing when I was little, and was very interested in ball sports. And my dad took me to the pool room, and I got hooked. And I was very lucky growing up in an environment in my little hometown of Fulda. It's about an hour northeast of Frankfurt in Germany, that we have there a private club. And so I joined this club and I just fell in love with knocking balls around. And 30 years later, I'm still
So you've
still
been
playing.
in the business that long?
Well, I started when I was 12 years old and just really crazy about it. Spent every free minute playing pool, and later on it became my job.
How long did it take you before you would say you're professional?
Well, I officially turned pro about 10 years in, 11 years in.
So do you play, I've seen, well, obviously being English, I see where they play snooker.
Yep.
Do they have the same thing for pool, like a league on TV?
Well, the reason I was here is actually we were playing the UK Open. It was the first time UK Open here in London.
Okay.
Professional tournament.
What's it inaugural?
The first one, the first ever.
Okay.
Was held at the Copper Box Arena
Alright.
by Matchroom Sport.
Okay. So there's lots of people there?
There's 256 players
Really?
in it, yeah. It was really nice production. It was a lot of fun.
So a lot of people flew from overseas?
All over the world.
And do you probably know quite a few of them on the circuit?
Most of them. Yeah, it's usually same people. It's a small family. But we had a lot of British players register early. So I think a third of the field were British, which shows us there's a market here, and especially what Matchroom is doing, the promoter, the organizer, they're doing a really good job with the presentation. It's a nice venue, it's good equipment. I'll show you a picture when we're done here and you'll see it. So
Okay.
definitely coming back.
So if you had 256
Yes.
players, how many in the audience? Was the audience?
Yeah, right now they've filled up all the seats because the final is about to start in 30 minutes. Since it's the inaugural event, they're still building the tournament. They must have a few hundred spectators. There are other events in pool organized by Matchroom where they get 3,000 to 4,000 spectators.
Oh, okay. And so because I always see pool as an American game, and you can correct me about the history here, so I don't know anything about this. And I just picture see it in the movies in some back alley, and some guy getting his hand crushed for cheating or something. I think like that in the back. What's the history of pool? Where does it derive from? Do you know?
I would say it's definitely over 100 years old. It's probably played in France or maybe here in England on grass. And then they figured out, when the weather is bad, we can't play, so they moved it indoors. That's why you see that the felt, the cloth is green, resembling the grass.
Yeah.
Now we change the colors in pool. But yeah, America made it popular, and I'm sure there's still a gambling scene in pool, but then there's also the sports side. And if you would ever get to see one of the events, you see it's very demanding on the players, very professionally organized, players dressed well, and it's a highly competitive sport nowadays.
Okay. What do you know now about playing in pool that you wish you knew when you started?
I think everything happened the way it's supposed to happen. When it comes to just pool, I think I wouldn't have changed a thing. I was so passionate about it, and practicing, or my lifestyle. Pool was my lifestyle. There are other things in life I would have made some different decisions, but when it solely comes to pool, I think I did everything right.
Okay, that's good. What's for becoming a pool player? What kind of regime? Do you have any exercise regime, like with your fingers, arms, anything that you need to be doing, stretching?
Well, obviously you need to just practice pool a lot, and I have my training plan, my practice regimen. You have to put in hours to stay in shape, because you lose it. It's a very precision sport. It doesn't hurt if you're in good physical shape, so I try to just exercise, do my cardio, and I like going to the gym. Just makes me feel solid and confident when I play.
So there's a big psychological part to it.
Yeah, if you're out in the arena and there might be live cameras, you could be playing for your country, you could be playing for a teammate, then there's pressure, and you still got to control that, the stick and the balls. So there's a lot that goes into it. You doubt yourself, maybe you have a problem with the equipment, some tough situations. And then you got to be strong, the will to win, high energy. Depending on your opponent, it might be intimidating.
Do you try any techniques like where you try and psych your opponent out and things like that?
No, I think I'm very fair play.
Oh, is that seen as bad sportsmanship?
Just try to, with my presence at the table, with like power play, intimidate my opponent. If you show that, like with your body language, that you're in charge, that you own the table, that can have an effect on your opponent. But when it comes to like cheating or sharking, as we say in pool, no, I don't do that.
Okay. Is it quite common?
There's some players, of course.
But I suppose people will know who they are.
Yep.
Oh, so you get a reputation.
You're trying to win, but to me that has limits. Sportsmanship always comes first.
So they brought pool to England now with, as you said, the EO36, and it's common in America. It must be common in Germany. What are the other common countries that you've been to?
That's the beauty of pool, that it's really played worldwide.
So it's all over.
I've competed let's start in Asia. Played in China. We have tournaments. Well, not after COVID, but before we had 2-3 tournaments in China every year, in Japan, in Indonesia, in Vietnam, in Korea, with the top players from Singapore, from Hong Kong. We've played all over Europe. Europe has the strongest league in the world.
Oh, is it? What's that league called?
It's called the Euro Tour.
A Euro
like
Tour.
6 events every year. Next one will be in Austria next month.
60
6 tournaments.
Oh, 6.
There's always over 200 players. It's highly competitive. That's a strong tour. And it's truly players from every country in Europe.
So when you're playing, is it the best out of 3? Or you just like, if you lose a game, you're out?
No, it varies from tournament. Usually we start with a double elimination. So you can afford to lose one. To go, like in this case, we played it down to 16 players, and then it switched to single elimination. If you lose, you're eliminated.
Where do you mind? Where did you come in this tournament?
I finished 17th.
Oh, you're good then. You're really good.
Well, no.
That's really good. That is really. No, I'm impressed.
So good. I had a good run, and I needed one more win to make it to the top 16, and I had 2 bad games, and my opponents played really strong against me. So it's okay. I didn't make too many mistakes. I can't be ashamed.
So you said you play for hours every day, so like 2 hours minimum.
Well, look, I've been doing this for 30 years, and when I was younger, that's all I wanted to do was play pool. But so I need my break. That's why I'm now going to the Philippines with my girlfriend.
And you just chill out
for a vacation. But then actually, I come back to London because we have another event here next month. It's called the World Cup of Pool.
Okay, so they're really bringing it in. Okay, that's good. So, if there's a young person and they want to get into pool, what would be your advice to them?
Well, it depends where you're from. First, hopefully there's a nice place for you, a good environment. I think that's the key. With good people that will help you. And, you just got to love the game, practice. There's tons of videos on YouTube, and there's more and more live streaming happening on whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, and see if you have some love for the game.
That's interesting you spoke about using YouTube. Obviously, I know people post everything on YouTube now, every different niche mankind can think of, but do you feel that they could learn without having a mentor? Because you had your father.
Actually, I had a coach, but look, when I started 30 years ago, that was the beginning of the internet. But everything you want to learn, you had to get from other people.
Mm-hmm.
But now you just go on your phone and you can pick up some tips at any time. Mm-hmm. That really is showing that we have more great players everywhere around the world, because you just learn faster by just turning on your phone. You still have to practice, but you can get the info, you can get the tips immediately.
Mm-hmm. Apart from the colours, the colours on the table, the colours of the balls, what's the difference between snooker and pool in the sense of equipment?
Well, snooker is played on a 12-foot table. It's a huge table.
That is long, isn't it?
With smaller balls, they've got 15 reds and the different colors. And then you get points, 1 point for red and different points for different colors. And then you try to get as many points so your opponent can't catch you anymore. So like 70 something points, and you win that frame. And then you play, whoever wins 9 frames, whatever, wins the game. In pool, we have a 9-foot table, and the most popular game is called 9-ball, where we have the balls from 1 to 9, and we play in numerical order. So you have to shoot the lowest ball first, which is the 1, and once that is gone, you shoot the 2, and whoever makes the 9 wins the game.
Okay.
So it's a much faster game than snooker. It's easier to learn, but on a high level, it's just as difficult to master.
Okay, I'm with you.
And a snooker table takes a lot of space. It has a tradition here in England and all Commonwealth countries.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of
popularity
worldwide, yeah, pool is huge because there are pool tables everywhere.
I suppose Americans are very good at marketing things.
That too.
Yeah, so that in many respects, and English are quite stingy.
But it's Matchroom Sport, British company who does the best in marketing for pool.
Okay, that's good. You've managed to earn a living from this. Is it solely this you've been doing for all these years?
Yep.
You must be really good.
I've had my good years. I'm 42 years old now. I still have hopefully a decade to go, but I've done okay for myself.
And you've never once thought about giving it up? You've never thought, I'm not gonna... There's younger kids on the block who are better or coming up?
There was a time when I was 23 years old. I was in the German army for 5 years.
Okay.
But playing pool for the German army. Yeah.
I love the military. I was in the military as well. So I loved it because I know you could get boxers, you could get all these people who join and they just get thrown in the boxing division or the band.
Back then you still had to do your service. Now it has changed, but when do you do service? When you're 18, 19 years old. That's when you peak in your sport usually.
Mm-hmm.
So they've created this, they call it Sports Support Unit or Sports Corps, where they take talented athletes and they let them do their sport while they're in the army. And if you look at the statistics, most medals won in Olympic Games, World Championships were won by athletes from the Sports Corps. So it's a really important thing that they have for sport in Germany.
Yeah.
And when my time came to an end, I almost started a different career. But that year I won the World Championship. So that gave me enough resources and a boost to actually become a pro.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, so you say the future, I usually ask, so what does the future hold for you? But you've kind of said it, that you're going to be doing this for another 10 years.
But I live in New York City, and there's a very famous pool room. There's no other place in the world, and that's where I'm the official house pro. So I teach, and I've had over 100 students last year. So that's kind of, I'm a competing professional, as you can see, and I have lots of tournaments.
So you're a guru in the business.
But well, it's my time to share my knowledge and my passion.
Okay, well that's good. It's like you're giving back. You're passing the baton on, so people can develop and move on. So I take it you've got a social media handle then?
I do.
What's it called, so people can find you if they want to?
Oh, thank you. It's my name, Thorsten Hohmann. That's THORSTENHOHMANN. Thorsten, like the god of thunder, Thorsten Hohmann.
Okay.
But if you just look at my first name and pool, and you'll find me.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for that. We wish you well, and I feel honoured to have a grandmaster.
Oh, thank you. That's my pleasure.
Even though I don't know anything about pool, just from what you've talked about, I'll put you in that category.
Pleasantly surprised. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.